What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about a series of events that ultimately led to one fatal, let's just put it this way, mistake that I made that almost cost me my life. Before we talk about what happened, we'll just excuse me because it's hard for me to talk loud, and it's a little bit hard for me to think quickly. So basically, we're gonna go back about, let's see, today is Tuesday the 12th, and this happened about 12 days ago, I believe. It happened last Friday on the I don't know. I honestly can't remember. I think it was the Friday after Halloween, so I believe it was the 1st of November. So, as if you guys have been watching the videos, you've been seeing we've been getting the CRX ready to go to Glamis on Halloween. I took about 2 weeks off for work, and I almost got everything done on the CRX except for the windshield and something else. Anyways, the night that I was going to take off to Glamis, I was supposed to leave Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, but the night before, I got everything done on the CRX and I took it down the street, and the turbo, I don't know if it was already blown or if it just let go at that moment, but sorry about that, I just had to take a little break. So the turbo, I took it down the street and the turbo was blowing a bunch of smoke and it was blowing oil out the exhaust. It has a really short downpipe, so the oil was going to be all over the side of the car. I made a last minute decision to not take the CRX because I wanted to get there in time for Halloween. I was already burnt out on all the work I had done on it. And so I decided, I had a turbo I could have got out of my storage, which is on it right now, but I didn't want to go through all that and then go out there and maybe have another problem. So I decided to just load up this dirt bike my 450 on the back of my trailer behind my RV. Mind you, I should have said this already, that I had a buddy that was supposed to come with me, and to make a long story short, he ended up changing his mind. So I was rolling solo to Glamis. I was supposed to meet up with a buddy of mine named Josh, and my brother was coming on Friday night. Anyway, so I ended up rolling out, I think Thursday midday afternoon on Halloween. I showed up real late by myself. I hopped on the bike, rode out to Olds, had a good time. Bike ran good, everything was good. I rode home, and I don't remember exactly what happened. I might have made dinner or something. Anyways, I woke up the next morning. I was really tired, burnt out from all the work on the CRX and the long drive to Glamis. So I slept in till about 10, 11 o'clock. My buddy Josh, I was supposed to ride with him that day. He had already taken off on his ride. So I decided, well, no big deal. I'll ride at my own pace. I'll just play it cool. I'll see if I can find him. I rode him, he didn't ride back. That was alright. I hopped on the bike, and I proceeded to I rode out to Olds. Everything was good. I was racing up Olds. I seen Turbo Tommy out there. Did a wheelie on the side of him, seen everybody, had a good time. No problems at all. Bike was running flawless. Decided, alright, I think it was about 3:30 in the afternoon. Decided, alright, I'm getting a little hungry. Go back to camp, check on my cats, get some food. Started heading out from Olds back to Wash 4. I was following a couple of razors. They started getting stuck. Started following some bikes, like a group of like 10 bikes, dirt bikes and quads. They started going the wrong direction, so I started following these YXZs, 2 YXZs that I had been following earlier. I seen them about a mile or two towards the washes. So I decided, alright, I think I can catch them. Let me see if I can catch those YXZs, and I'll follow them just so I'm not riding alone. I tried not to ride alone. So some point between the time that I decided to catch the YXZs and the point of impact that I'm about to tell you about, I guess I just got distracted, and I decided, and I stopped following the YXZs. So I got to the washes. I was in about wash 8, wash 9. I didn't know where I was at, but I just pulled into the camps, and I started riding towards Sand Highway. Got on Sand Highway, and I stopped and talked to a couple kids on some dirt bikes, and I said, hey man, what wash am I in? They said, you're in like wash 7 or 8. I said, alright, cool. My RV was in wash 4. It was at that point, figured, man, I'm just right around the corner. I'll be there in a few seconds. So I cracked the throttle, and I was flying through Sand Highway. Going about, for the record, about 16 miles an hour, right? Yeah, right. I was in 4th to 5th gear on the back tire, and there's a point between wash 9 and wash 4. I don't know where it's at, where there's some, on Sand Highway, there's some rolling hills. They're not that big, but it's just enough to where you can't see over the other side. I'm flying, I'm coming across the whoops. I come over 1 or 2 of those rollers, everything's good. And I come over, I think the 3rd or 4th roller, and I catch just a little bit of air. And I see this Can-Am. They were on the right side of me. As I'm in the air, they cut to the left. They decided to do a U-turn or whatever they were doing, right? And so they turned, and as they turned, they see me coming, and they hesitated. They stopped, and then they creeped forward for about a foot. And that amount of time was enough time for everything to just line up perfectly in me. So had they just turned and stopped, I could have went to the left. Had they have turned and just made their turn, I could have went to the right. But they cost me precious time, because when they made that turn, I was still in the air. So my brain is thinking, okay, how am I going to avoid impact? I was going to go to the right. They started creeping forward again. That's when I said, okay, I'm definitely going right. They stopped. They creeped forward for a foot and they stopped. It was at that point I said, man, I don't know what, how, why I did what I did or anything, but I decided to start now going for the front to try to dodge them on the left. They were going straight, so they turned to the left, and if I would have went right, I would have hit the rear of them. If I would go to the left, I would hit the front of them. I end up aborting. I don't know why. Okay, I decided not to go right, to go left, because they stopped. And after all that, it was just, it cost me too much precious time. And I tried going left. I got on the brakes, and I couldn't slow down in time. And they were just stopped right there in the middle of Sand Highway, diagonal across Sand Highway, right after a roller. And I came on the 450, and I hit the side of the Can-Am. My face, I don't know what happened. I didn't black out, but I don't know what happened. There was nobody there to witness it. I haven't even talked to the people that I hit. Based off what happened and the damage to my helmet, I believe my face hit the roll cage around luckily around this area, which took the initial impact. And then I believe that the helmet or the roll bar smashed into my nose and my eye. And I landed on the other side of the Can-Am. I got up. Guys, I need to take a break for a second, but I need to take a break. Guys, I would like to just address this before I forget again. I didn't have any insurance or anything like that, and I have pretty big medical bills. All the there's not gonna be much. I don't make a whole lot off these videos, but everything counts. And I would appreciate if you guys could just like the video at this point. It helps to pay for the medical bills and everything. I appreciate that. So after I hit them and I landed on the other side of the Can-Am, somehow I was still basically mounted to the bike. I was like this on the ground, front tire there, back tire here, leaned over this way, and I had a foot under the bike and a foot on top of the bike, and I was basically still, I could have grabbed the bars, right? Like I wasn't far from the bike, I was still on the bike. And I also had my flag. In Glamis, you have to have a flag when you ride in the sand dunes. I always either put a flag in my backpack, or I just came up with the idea where I put the flag down on the side of the straps and I strapped the flag into my boot. So that's how I had my flag on me, right? On my handlebar, let me show you. So on this handlebar right here, I dropped this bike a long time ago, right? And it bent the lever perfectly like that, and I just never fixed it. But when I was on the ground, my flag, I didn't know what was going on, but my flag was caught in this little loop, and it was making it really difficult for me to get off of the bike. So I was on the ground trying to get the bike off of me, and as soon as I hit the ground, blood was just pouring out of my helmet. And I was screaming and yelling for the people to help me get the bike off of me, right? And they got out of their Can-Ams and they were just looking at me like I was a dead man, right? And I didn't know what to think. I seen all the blood pouring out of my helmet, and I was scared. And I decided, you know, after a moment of time went by that, hey, you know, I'm still alive. I need to get this bike off of me. These people are not helping me, right? And trust me, I asked them. I screamed and yelled for them to get the bike off of me. Those people at that moment were not going to touch the bike or me. I somehow couldn't get my leg out from under the bike. It was caught in that loop. The flag was caught in that loop. By the time I figured that out, I got it out, and then I ended up lifting the bike off of myself and got off from under the bike. They're screaming and yelling. Now at this point, I ripped the helmet off of me, and blood is just landing on the ground at an extreme rate, right? I never ever witnessed anything like that before in my life. I didn't know at that point the extent of the damage. I was just, I don't know. I was all alone, and I had my animals in my RV, so I was mainly thinking about them, right? So they're screaming and yelling, hey, you gotta sit down, this, that, and the other. At some point in time, someone said, we can see your skull. I figured maybe I had a cut in my forehead or something, you know. It didn't seem that bad at the moment. Time starts passing by. People are handing me a gauze, and I'm filling up probably 4 or 5 things of whatever they're handing me, right? Medical gauze. And we're gonna leave some of the details out because it's really gruesome. So long story short, they're trying to get me to take a helicopter out of there. And I'm telling them that I'm alright. I need, you know, after everything's over, you know, it wouldn't have been a bad thing to take a helicopter, but I'm still here right now. And, you know, that would have cost a lot of money. So I had to, they were gonna force me to take the helicopter, right? You know what? I need to back up a little bit. About moments after I got up and took my helmet off, and they sat me down on the side of their Can-Am, and people started pulling up. One person that pulled up, man, this is gonna be a long video, but so I had only met Josh in person one time before, right? And that's the guy I was gonna be camping next to. One of my buddies I was meeting out there, right? He said, hey bro, you know, he came up to me one day here in one of our local gas stations, and he said, hey bro, you know, I recognize you, fucking love your car, yada yada yada, right? I said, hey, sick bro. So we added each other on Facebook, and we started messaging back and forth. Hey man, when Glamis comes around, this is summertime, right? When Glamis comes around, when we go out there, let's camp together. I said, hell yeah, let's do it. I pulled up at night, and he sent me a pin, and I ended up couldn't find his camp, but I was in my RV, so I couldn't drive around the sand too much. So I parked next to his pin. I woke up in the morning, I was actually only about 200 feet from his camp. But like I said, I took off earlier the day without Josh, just by myself. And I was looking for Josh. And I only met this guy one time before in person. But this guy, Josh, man, he saved my life, to be honest with you guys. So I look over after I'm sitting on the side of the Can-Am, probably less than 5 minutes after impact. And I look over, and a guy pulls up in his Can-Am. And I'd only seen Josh one time before in person. And I looked over, and I looked at this guy, and I said, he looked really familiar, right? And I just don't know how I recognized him, but I said, Josh? And he said, yes, brother. Something along these lines. He hopped out real quick. He said, man, you're going to be all right. He's seen how bad I was, and I had no idea how bad I was. He was there the whole time, helping me wipe my blood, and his son was helping me wash my wounds with water bottles. And he was the guy to have my back when they were trying to take me in the helicopter, to tell them and say, hey, if he doesn't want to go in the helicopter, he said, can take him myself. I'll take him on my truck. He said, I'll take him right now to the hospital. He said, if he doesn't want to go in a helicopter, he's not going in the helicopter. And they said, oh, no, they just kept yapping their mouths. Hey, all respect to everybody in the medical industry. God bless you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. But for me at that moment, it was a stressful moment, and they were pressuring me to do something I didn't want to do. They were asking me a lot of questions, which I understand. You gotta ask someone those questions. In that type of traumatic injury. But thank God I was able enough to make my own decisions, and that I wasn't hurt that bad. I thank God every day since that accident happened, and it changed changed my view on everything in life. We're not cats. We don't get 9 lives, right? I mean, you get one life, man, and if you make a mistake, it can be over in an instant. And it's crazy how a vacation that I planned for 6 months could change. Not even 24 hours into the vacation, my entire life. So he told them he'll take me, and after about 20 minutes of me having to talk to someone at a hospital, sign some thing, and talk to someone else and tell them basically that I consent to not take the helicopter ride, right? He took me out of there in his Can-Am, took me to his camp. His buddy Steven, I said, hey bro, can you ride my bike back to your camp, keep it safe there? He hopped on my bike, started it up. I hopped in his Can-Am, all bandaged up. I didn't even know how bad I was, hole in my face and everything. Got back to his camp. He rushed me to the hospital in Brawley, California. And when I got there, they rushed me into the room, got me in, took a CT scan, took me into surgery and cleaned out my face, stitched up my eye, my nose, and I think I got over 30 stitches between my eyelid here area and my nose area. I was split wide open. They said I had broken my nose and fractured my eye socket. They said I had a concussion, and I I don't know, some other stuff, some head trauma or something like that. Anyways, long story short, I was not in good shape, right? God bless Josh. He dropped me off at the hospital. Hey man, I don't want you, he dropped me off there. I told him, hey bro, you're good. Go back to your family, go back to camp, keep an eye on everything. I'm fine. I had already contacted my dad and my brother. They were on their way. My dad was gonna pick me up from the hospital. He was about 2 hours out when I got dropped off at the hospital. After the CT scan and surgery, whatever else they did, it was probably 5 minutes after all that, I got back, started resting in the bed in the hospital room, and my dad showed up. So I wasn't alone long, you know. Thank, thankfully, my dad, you know, was there to pick me up. And then after that, you know, it's just been a long road to recovery. We went back to Glamis that night. I was, my eye was swollen up shut. I couldn't breathe out of my nose. I was, I was messed up, guys, and we stayed in the RV. And first thing in the morning, we wheeled that thing out of there. My dad drove me home, and yeah, I stayed at his house for probably about a week, so I could, till I felt better, till the swelling in my face went down and stuff like that. I could kind of breathe out of my nose again. Like I said, it's been about 12 days or so since all that happened. Um, I still have the stitches in my face, and I'm just taking it easy. Whenever I do too much, I get some pressure in my head and stuff, and I just have to take it slow. It's gonna be a long road to recovery. I got some type of, you know, trauma from the impact on my head. I can tell I'm, you know, my vision is a little bit delayed, and it's a little bit, I just feel like I think a little bit slower. It's hard to, I don't think I'm, you know, I think I'm still as sharp. It's just things aren't going as fast as they once were, you know. But the most important thing is I'm still here today, and I just wanted to come to tell you guys about this story so that, you know, you never know when something can go wrong. And I, you know, it's crazy to think that I was doing everything right on my end, riding within my limits, and still somebody else's decision to turn in front of me potentially almost cost me my life. And you know, I wanted to, you know, for all my friends and family that are watching this, you know, it's like, man, I never meant to put anybody through anything like this. And it really opens your eyes when, you know, your life flashes literally before your eyes. And I don't know, you know, it opened my eyes to a lot of things in life. And just the way, you know, I don't know, you only get one life, and you really gotta be careful, and you gotta watch out all the time. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what I did on the CRX, but I we'll have to save that for another video. But yeah, somehow miraculously, the bike is all right. A little bit of scratches on it. Rim looks like it has a small dent or something, and I already adjusted the handlebars. They were just all tweaked. Still rides good from what my dad and Steven told me. So, it's up for sale. I got someone coming to look at it. But anyways, yeah, guys, I just want you guys to just love your family, and you know, you only get one shot at this life. And you know, keep your friends, your loved ones close, and make sure you wear a helmet. If I hadn't had that helmet on, it would have been, I wouldn't be here today, more than likely. you know, I don't know what YouTube's gonna let me put as far as the images and stuff from when it happened. It's really graphic, and so what I'm gonna do is, if you guys want to see the pictures and stuff like that, you can add me on Facebook or Instagram at Nick Kimmock, and I'll post them up on there. I'll post whatever I can at the end of this video, whatever YouTube will allow. There's a couple pictures with all the bandages on and stuff. That's probably, I can post that. Just you guys be careful out there, especially in Glamis, and also the people driving Razors and Can-Ams. Like, man, you guys are in a roll cage. I can't stress this enough, man. Imagine it's your family out there, right? And something like that happens, and you're the one that was causing the problem, and take someone's life right from them. You know, it's yep. So that's where we're at, guys. The K-Swap Civic, still, I got big plans for that. As you can see, the CRX, it was ready to go. When I feel better, we will be back in Glamis with the CRX on high boost. We're gonna do the VTEC killer swap on the midden, on the K-Swap Civic, and so yeah, guys, I appreciate anybody who watched this far into the video. Again, if you can like the video, share with your friends, and you know, if you got anything to say, I always love to hear what you guys got to say in the comments. So I'll see you guys on the next video.